All right, what is up, Chuckleheads, and welcome to a very special edition of the Not Bro Dads podcast, the Stand Up Snobs. We're just gonna say that every time now. There's a big beef going on between us and Bro Dads. I don't know if you're aware of them, but we hate them.
Beef and heavy.
Hugey beef.
Yeah.
Beefy curtains. It is, of course, your boys at the Stand Up Snobs podcast. I am Jay Berg, and with me, as always, is
Colton Drake.
Mr. Colton Drake. And today, like I said, very special episode. This is not a regular episode. We're not going to do our normal thing. Mm-hmm. This is going to be a shorter episode, and it's a bonus. I'll call it a bonus episode.
It's a bonus app.
A friend of the podcast, whether he knows it or not, Gabe Rutledge just put out a crowd work special created by Bark Comedy. It is called What Do I Do for a Living? Mm-hmm. It is a full crowd work special. Gabe Rutledge, great comedian, one of the best in the nation working today.
Yeah.
Somehow still lives in Olympia. I mean, out of choice. I mean, I think he's out of Olympia anyway, but he could live wherever and succeed wherever, but he crushes around here. Mm-hmm. He travels everywhere.
Yeah.
And he crushes everywhere. Super duper funny guy. And you've hosted for him. I've hung out with him a few times. He does not remember me. I can guarantee you that.
Good hang.
Or if he does, it's for a bad reason. But yeah, great comic, and he put out, and also Bark Comedy owns the comedy club that we usually frequent, Spokane Comedy, along with seven other comedy clubs. Yeah, so this hits home locally for a couple different reasons. So let's give you a taste of Gabriel Rutledge. This is the trailer that they put out for this special. Again, it's called What Do I Do for a Living? And here we go.
What do you do for a living? What do I do for a living? Is it weird my wedding ring burned when I said that? She was down to woo! Yeah, give me that. Northwest, where's Waldo? By the way, shake weight. Okay, we're fine. Zoom real tight on me right now. I have never had anything in my ass. Well, I hope they had fun.
All right, that was Gabe Rutledge. What do I do for a living? That's crowd work special, baby.
Hell yeah.
He did it, man. So this was filmed in Tacoma at the 6th and Proctor location. They have two clubs out there. The 6th and Proctor location, small room.
Yeah.
About, you've performed there, right? Yeah.
I think it fits about 40 people.
Yeah. Oh, it does a little bit more, but it's, yeah.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, it's like 60, but whatever it is, it's a lot smaller than a traditional, than any of their other clubs, especially Spokane's like 330, some crazy thing like that. Gigantic club. So yeah, 60, I think it's around 60 people, but either way, 60 people, very intimate venue. He did a crowd work special there. I think it was a great choice to do a crowd work special at that small room like that.
Totally. Yeah, everybody's kind of right up on you.
Yeah, they're right up on you, and it makes, I mean, it's more intimate. That's what we talked about doing crowd work in a stadium or doing it like in an arena or whatever in the past, and it's just weird.
Yeah.
Because like people in the back are like, they're just having a conversation like 400 yards away from me, you know what I mean? Like, or whatever it is.
Yeah, in certain venues, it can make the rest of the audience feel really isolated.
Yeah, for sure. Or like, there's something going on and they're not even a part of it. They're just like, I wish I would have stayed home, watched this shit when it come out on TV or something. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I thought that was very good. And also, I think it makes people, because you can hear everyone in the room is able to hear everyone else. So you don't have that weird thing where it's like, oh, I didn't hear him. I hope they repeat it. Oh, they repeated it. Thank God. Or, oh, they didn't repeat it. Now I don't know what's going on.
Well, and what's great about this room, too, is how intimate it is, like Jay's saying, but it's also not like a don't tell room. Like,
what do you mean by that?
When you do a don't tell show, usually there's no stage.
Right? Oh, okay.
So usually you're standing on the ground. Don't tell shows can kind of feel weird because everybody's right up on you and you're just standing.
Have you done a don't tell before?
Yeah.
Huh. Oh, is that the one in Salt Lake? Got it. You've done one, and now you're expert in all things Ductel. Is that what you're trying to say?
I'm not supposed to tell you about it.
That's horrible.
But yeah, this was a cool venue for this because obviously they have a stage, and everybody's tied in. Yeah. Also, it did seem like it was a little bit brighter in the room.
Yeah, it didn't look like they didn't have the show lights all the way down.
Yeah, which is good.
crowd lights all the way down. Yeah.
Because that way they could look at everybody that's he's interacting with.
Yeah. And obviously, if you're doing a crowd work special, you have to have a number of cameras on the audience because there's going to be so much interaction. You can't just have one like from the front trying to do that. So occasionally you'll catch other cameras in the background of the crowd work shots and things like that. But I think that's to be, especially that room is tiny and they're packed in. So it's pretty to be expected. And I didn't think it was distracting or anything. And I think it's something that you sort of on a crowd work special, you're just you live with it anyway. No one's really worried about it. They broke the fourth wall.
Right.
But yeah, like I thought it would look. I mean, what do you think? What do you think of the look of it? I thought it looked pretty damn good.
Yeah, I think it looks great, dude.
Yeah.
And Gabe just looks like Gabe.
Gabe looks like Gabe.
He's not doing the jacket thing for a special
No, he's
like
not.
everybody else
He's
is
not
doing
wearing
jackets.
A three-piece suit.
No, he'll wear an Olympia shirt.
Yeah, Olympia beer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
We should mention we're drinking Michelob Ultras because he says it's the best beer on
We're
earth.
drinking Michelob's for Gabe.
Just for you, Gabe. We're drinking Michelob Ultras as we review your awesome special.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers.
What's funny, I don't know how many times you've seen Gabe, but he'll wear shirts that say the day of the week on them.
Oh yeah.
So he'll wear like a Thursday shirt on a Thursday.
Didn't he sell those as merch at some point? It feels
sure.
like he did that.
Probably,
Sounds like something he would do.
but it's pretty funny.
Yeah, he's great.
Really makes you stay on your laundry though. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So yeah, he's one of the better comics one of the best comics working, and definitely one of the best ones in the Northwest. So no real surprise that Bark really engaged with him to do this crowd work. I haven't seen anything they've done that's just a crowd work special, and there aren't a lot of crowd work specials out there. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
But I think this is their first crowd work special that they put out.
Dude, Gabe is, man, dude. I'm trying to. Okay.
Are you okay, bud?
Yeah. So I'm coming off of a high from something else.
I blew him right before this.
Yeah, dude, he just sucked the
So good,
clarity out of me.
Awesome.
Gabe is such a tight joke writer. Like his jokes are always so tight, and it's funny to be able to see him go from doing like his act
Right.
to being able to do crowd work and have it just seem so seamless, man.
Yeah, he's very quick on his feet. Excellent crowd. I mean, it's an hour, a full hour of crowd work. He's really good at it. I've seen him do a little bit of crowd work within his show, but like not try to do a whole show of it. And that can be really daunting. I think he mentions, that he was kind of nervous about it, and I'm actually not surprised at all.
How would you kind of not be, dude?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense when especially when you're used to having so much. I mean, like you said, like his structure is so tight that going from that to completely unstructured for that long a time, for an hour, like a lengthy hour.
Yeah, well, you're going out there and you're like, I don't know where this is going to go.
Yeah,
Just like that in itself, you just kind of have to be like, oh, we're off the leash, dude.
Yep, absolutely.
This is going to be what it is. There's one part in the special. I don't know how we're kind of doing this a little bit.
However
weird.
we want to do it. Yeah, we're not doing the categories like we normally do. We might talk about them, but at this point, we'll just do this.
So there's one point where he talks to a guy, a blue collar guy, in the crowd, right?
The construction guy.
Guy, yeah. And he makes jokes. That guy, everything's good. Blah blah blah. Talks to this other guy that says, he has printed questions that he has. On
he asked social media people for like questions that'd be good for crowd work.
Yeah. So then
because he didn't want to be like, what do you do? What do you like? He didn't want to have some variety. So good.
And he asks this one dude he's talking to, what his porn search is or whatever.
Sure.
It's one of the questions. And the guy responds, girl on girl. Right. Whatever. There's
Clean.
A fun interaction.
The black
the guy's name's
Clean.
Yep.
With a K.
And it's
Clean with a K, dude.
And it's a fun interaction, right?
Yeah.
And then he asks this other guy that this blue collar guy obviously went to the show with, this construction dude. And he's like, "Oh, what do you watch, sir?"
Yeah,
what's
your search preference or whatever?
Search preference. And the construction guy he was just talking to is like, guy on guy.
Because he's ribbing his buddy about being gay.
Yeah.
In Seattle, or basically Tacoma, which Tacoma's definitely not Seattle, but it's, over that area.
Which to me, very funny joke. I'm a blue collar guy. I thought that was funny. I
don't think it's that funny, but I think it's pretty.
It's just an obvious construction guy rip.
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you ask somebody who's 50 years old. Yes, 9 guys at 50 years old, after they heard somebody else say girl on girl, and you ask him what their friend's search history is, and he's had a couple drinks in him, he's going to say guy on guy.
Guy on guy. And you know what?
8 out of 10 to 9
It's going to hit with me every time. That is funny. But you could tell the audience
it was very tense.
Yeah, the audience had a little tension in that room. And that room is so small, too, like we said. But the tension is really going to be loud.
Yes.
And Gabe just cuts that tension like a ribbon, dude. Because he's like, he's
first he made it worse a little bit, like because he's like, there's nothing wrong with that, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like there's nothing wrong with that. It was kind of like tensed up more, but then he immediately said, sorry.
Yeah, he was like, I was a construction guy, or whatever, right? He goes,
if you want the deck built, you gotta let him.
You gotta laugh at those jokes.
Gotta give him a little bit of leeway or whatever it was. Yeah, very good.
Yeah, very excellent way to tackle that.
Really, really did a good job. I mean, there were a bunch of like, I mean, he's very quick. That's for sure. I thought it was. I wonder, do you think it was all in order that way? Do you think they hopped around in terms of the order of the jokes? Like, do you think they went from?
What do you mean?
Like, do you think that the order of so he talks to the guy in the back, then he talks to these other people. Do you think that was the actual order? Or you think he talked to the guy in the back later? Or obviously he didn't that one, but other jokes. Do you think they messed around with the order at all?
No,
I don't either.
I don't think so.
It did. If they did, they did an incredible job of like making it seamless. I don't think so though, because. Yeah. And I think they really couldn't because he was referring to earlier things a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure you could do that. But it started off incredibly strong. The first thing he comes out with, which is just, I think it actually might be on the trailer. The first thing he starts out with is like, I have to start with this guy. Like, are you me from the future?
Oh,
like,
yeah. That was the first one. Yep.
Yeah. Because there's this guy that kind of looks like him. Not really.
Yeah.
And then you find out later that guy's younger than Gabe. Yeah. And he's like, oh, shit. I'm an asshole, you know, like, like actually you or me from 6 months from now.
Oh, he starts calling that guy Dave Grohl or whatever.
Yeah,
yeah,
super funny. It was really, really fun. I will say this, just in general, I'm on record many times over. I am not a crowd work. I'm not a big crowd work guy.
Jay hates crowd work.
I kind of do. However, well, and I hate it when it's fake. I don't mind when it just comes up organically. We've talked about that, but like when people are clearly like farming for crowd work, either at open mics or during a special or whatever. It's almost like they're trying to get clips half the time. And that's my biggest issue with it really is that it teaches crowds how to be bad comedy crowds. Now, after I watched this though, I realized I like that they go in, they know it's a crowd work special, right?
Yeah. That does change the parameters.
That changes the whole thing to me. Because then you know it's not a traditional stand-up.
Right.
If it's crappy crowd work in the middle of the show, that's when people think the crowd work is comedy. If you say it like this, you have that intimate venue, you know you're going to get talked to. Mm-hmm. You're not getting ambushed, right?
Right.
I'm a lot more okay. I'm turning around and I'm like, you know what? It's a crowd work special. There's nothing wrong with it. It's almost like a separate art form in a way. But yeah, I mean, I'm over it. You know what I mean? I'm over that part of it.
Yeah.
I still am not going to like crowd work in the middle of a normal show. But
I love
as a special, I'm kind of, if Matt Rife wants to do a crowd work special, then God damn it, he should do a crowd work special. Good for him.
Yeah, I'm actually not mad at crowd work specials. I like crowd work specials. I understand the hate you have towards crowd work just in general, because it does seem like a lot of times people are just
doesn't hurt.
Clip farming.
Really good at it.
Yeah, that's the other thing. But I love when dudes do crowd work, and as they're doing it, they're
dudes
like,
only.
Hate it when women do it. I'm just kidding. I love it when they spider web like everything kind of going on with everybody they talk to into the whole act, the whole thing.
Yeah, if they can say, oh, you'd be good for this person over here, or whatever.
Yeah.
There's a lot of. I mean, he does that a few times. He's.
I love that because it also it's almost like a memory thing. Also, right. Like I'm trying to remember this guy's name, so that I can make this callback essentially.
Well, it's like you're all at a party, right? Mm-hmm. In a way, because it's like, oh yeah, like I mean, you know, when you're having a good conversation with somebody at a party, like, oh, that's like what he was saying about this, or whatever. Like you can bounce out, and it makes it more conversational. It makes it more, I mean, intimate and like
and
fun.
Everybody's involved in it, right? So like you've exposed this information now. All you guys are in on this inside joke in a way, right? Yeah. So now you can make these connections, and everybody's along for the ride, and they're with it.
And he was able to slip a few like actual bits in there. He didn't do them for very long, but like if something sort of came up naturally, I'm pretty sure there's like at least 2, maybe 3 times in there that he ended up doing like a short bit that was related to a crowd, to something he was talking about, and then goes back into the crowd work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which I'm totally okay with, like throwing a bit or two. It's almost like
that's part of the art.
He gets to relax for a minute and just do something he already knows.
That's
and
part
kind of recharge
it.
Before he goes back into the the sea.
Yeah. That's part of it too. Yeah. I mean, if you run into a circumstance where this joke is going to work good, why would you not use that?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I think that's almost like him taking a breath, though. Like, it's like, oh, I know I can do this part. You know what I mean? Like, this part's, I do this for a living, you know? Like,
this will bang out. And then,
his,
yeah.
I mean, it was fun. It was fun. Hour long. It's a long time to do it. I mean, I thought it was great. I was really impressed with it. I mean, I love Gabe, so it's not surprising, but he was really good. I don't really have any parts that I didn't enjoy, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's all very entertaining.
Yeah,
it's easy to watch.
Super fun, yeah.
Sometimes I've watched other crowd work specials from people, and sometimes they can kind of get a little lackluster, and then it kind of just turns into more like, what do you do for work?
Sure.
What do you do? And then it just kind of
Are you guys together?
Yeah.
And he did a little bit of that. There was some of that, but
of course.
You know, he didn't belabor it too much.
But he wasn't doing that with everybody.
He's like, what do you do? What do I do? That was
Yeah.
That's the name of the special. What do I do for a living?
What do I do for a living?
And he's kind of making fun of his own, making fun of crowd work in general, and then making fun of his own thing.
Mm-hmm.
I do think there were a couple times, and this is the part that I'd be really worried about if I was going to do a crowd work special, especially when an intimate venue like that, because you kind of get the deck that you're dealt, or the hand that you're dealt, right? Like you don't have that many. If there are a couple duds in there, that can really change the dynamic. We're like, oh shit, now I only have idiots to talk. Like, no, not idiots, but like people who aren't. Or they're trying to be too much of a part of the show, or you can get that. That can be a real.
That's a problem. That could be a problem
when somebody really wants to dominate. Oh, especially it's a taping and it's a crowd work thing, and I'm an attention whore, and I have to be the center of attention all the time.
Yeah,
didn't really have that.
If my dad was in there, they would have just scrapped this.
I love you, son. So funny.
And there was a moment too where he was talking to somebody, and she was like, "I don't want to be talked to." Right?
Oh yeah, that's right.
And then he's like, okay, well, cool, just moved on.
Of course, like, why are you in a crowd work special if you don't want to? I mean,
also
to talk to
I
it
guess.
all. But no, I think it's the smart move. What are you gonna do? Like, why are you in the crowd work? But then you get the whole crowd to turn against you. You don't want that.
Yeah.
There were a couple people I thought that were taking the moment, and weren't great at the interacting part.
Mm-hmm.
He was good at just softening that blow. I mean, there's like one lady on the corner who like tells this sort of like long-winded. It's not a story, but it's like he's like, hey, what's your favorite color? And she's like, well, when I was a kid, blah blah blah. It wasn't like that, but it was similar to that.
Yeah.
Whereas like you have to get the background. It's like, just answer the question. You know what I mean, lady? But he just took it in stride, got past it, got to the next thing, didn't spend a lot of time on her, and went to the next, the next people who were interacting better. Because some crowds are better at crowd work. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, for a fact.
Construction guy, fine.
Yeah.
The initial guy who gave him a bite of his sandwich, which was great. Fine. Yeah.
Also, an excellent move, by the way. If anybody ever says like, "Oh, that looks good,"
do you want to do whatever? Yeah.
Ask them if they want a bite.
Oh, sure. And I'll take the bite too. I mean, everybody played that right.
Yeah, that was
this guy
good
in the front row was like, Gabe was like, "You're gonna eat that right in front of me?" Like, it's so ridiculous.
And he goes, "You want a bite?"
And he goes, "You want a bite?" And Gabe's like, "Sure."
Yeah. Excellent way to start it off, dude. Plus, you get a bite of a sandwich.
You get a free bite of sandwich, dude.
Yeah.
Add that to the payment you made. It's fantastic, dude.
I will say, I think a little bit off topic.
Yeah, that's fine.
I think Bart Comedy has done a really good job of setting up their YouTube. Like, I've liked everything that I've seen on there so far.
Yeah. What do they have on there besides? I mean, I've seen this, and I've seen. Well, is his special nectarine on there as well?
Yeah.
Okay, because they produce. Yeah, that's right. Do they have other full specials, or do they just have the? They have at least 2 Gabe Rutledge specials, right? And then they do the Make Me Famous.
Yep, Make Me Famous.
That yours should be coming out soon. But a lot of those come out, and those are essentially like 5 to 15 minute sets from people.
I think they're 10
or 10 to 20.
I think they're 10 to 20.
All right, 10 to 20 minute sets of people, and they've been doing those since last summer, I believe, when they first started it.
Mm-hmm.
And they release them, and then they release like little shorter clips on. But those are all on anything. What else is on there? I haven't.
I think that's kind of about it.
Okay, because I've seen those. I didn't know if there were other things on there as well.
That's all I've seen so far.
Yeah, that's cool.
I mean, it's cool because it's neat to just. Sometimes you don't need long.
Yeah.
You don't need a whole long hour or a half hour or whatever to watch. Sometimes you want to just see if you like somebody, and watching 10 minutes to 20 minutes, you can just figure that out.
Is it Bart Comedy? Is that the?
Yeah.
That's their YouTube page?
Yeah.
Do they only have?
Might be Bart Comedy Entertainment.
Do they only have Northwest Comics on there? Then, because if they only do the Make Me Famous over in Tacoma, and then I'm not only Northwest Comics, but only filming at Tacoma, and then
I think so.
And that's it, huh?
I think so. I could be wrong. I don't.
Yeah, I don't know either.
But I do like what
maybe
they're doing.
they're just starting there and then branching out, kind of like they did with their clubs. That's
Yeah.
possible because that's how they started. They started in Tacoma with their first club, and then gradually moved out everywhere else.
But I like what they're doing. I like the angle of it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping. I've seen a couple of people. Well, shit, I've followed the one person I followed a couple weeks ago. I forget her name, Bernice Larson, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I followed her because of her clip that was on that.
Yeah.
That I saw on Instagram that they posted, and I was like, oh shit, that's very funny. And then I started looking a little bit more at her stuff, and I was like, oh yeah, that's very good. Yeah, so it's a way to, get new artists out there. Hopefully,
and kind of get in on the ground floor as a fan. If you like somebody, you're like, oh man, I watched them do 10 minutes, and it's
yeah. Hopefully, it helps out a lot of comics on the come up.
Mm-hmm.
Get more time, get booked places, get better viewership, all that kind of stuff.
And they're like,
Symbiotic
the editing is good.
Yep.
Like, they're doing.
Yeah, so get me on that show, Bark. Come on, your boy needs it.
This whole thing was trying to get
It's all
Jay.
trying to get me on there. I mean, I'm hopeful that at some point we'll get on there. I'll get on there. That would be fine. I mean, I'm just mad because Colton beat me to the punch by 8 months or whatever the hell it was.
Suck it.
Ridiculous. But, he's been rubbing it in my face. Come on, Bark, help me out. Come on, Norwest, help me out, buddy.
I'll do another one, Bark. I'll do another.
Oh no! If you
let
lap
me double up on him.
If you lap me, I'll do a crowd work special. Shit.
Your crowd work special would be I hate you.
That's it.
What's your name? I hate you.
That's it. Oh, you suck. All right. Let me pitch this to Bark real quick. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Have you guys ever thought about prop comedy? Because I'm an excellent prop comic.
Are you?
Oh my God. Have you ever seen? Huh?
I don't know if that's a prop.
I don't know.
That's
That's
just
like
hand
weird
signals.
hand magics. I'm not sure what I'm doing, man. No, I'm great at prop comedy. I'm like the carrot top of bald white men. Bald white men. Oh, that's funny. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Carrot
Carrot
top.
top is to tan.
Boom.
Boom. Boom.
Boom. I'm like a vampiric carrot top. Yeah. So, Bark, I will be reaching out to your people very soon. You may not know this, but I'm very famous now because of this podcast.
That's why I would like to get on the Make Me Famous show.
Yeah. All right. We got a little bit left field, but that's fine. Whatever. Gabe Rutledge, great comic. Really fun. I liked anything else that you liked in the. One thing I learned about in this special that I didn't know that he said was something that everybody knew about him. His middle name is Antelope.
I did not know that.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that was new info.
His middle name is Antelope, and it's very funny how he gets into it because
Gabe Antelope Rutledge.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and at the end, in the credits, I don't know if you notice this in the credits, but in the credits it says written or performed by Gabriel Antelope Rutledge. Like it actually put Antelope in there, which I thought was really funny.
Oh, that is.
But
Funny.
he gets into that by talking about like weird middle names.
Uh-huh.
And then the person he talks to about their weird middle name, he's trying to get who had the weirdest middle name, right?
Uh-huh.
And the last person he talks to, her name is LK. And he's like, what? LK? Like, is it spelled just LK? He's like, no. She's like, no, it's elk with an E on the end of it. And he's like, well, okay. And then he's like, well, speaking of elks, essentially. And then he's like, well, that's kind of like my middle name because mine's Antelope or whatever. So it's pretty funny. Yeah, and then he tells a story about his how his parents were hippies and shit. So that's shocking.
Would have never guessed that one. Yep.
But yeah, he had a lot of fun with him. Even though you could tell he was I don't even think you could tell he was nervous. He just said he was sort of like anxious about it.
Right.
And it would make sense that he would be, so I believe him. But he didn't appear to be nervous. And then I thought he really settled in. He settled in like it was second nature within 5 minutes of getting up there. Like, oh, we're just gonna have a good time up here. We're gonna have fun. Yeah. Uses the whole crowd. Has people in the crowd referencing a bunch of different people in the crowd, and we're in the same joke. Like we kind of talked about that.
I think the hardest people,
really good at it for somebody who I would not call a crowd work comic.
Yeah, I mean, the last few times I've worked with him, I've noticed that he
the last few times. How many times have you worked with him?
Well, are we counting nights?
It's the full weekend.
Yeah,
I was just saying the last. So the both Saturday shows. Caught you, motherfucker!
I was trying to sound cool, man. I was trying to sound cool.
The last time I worked with him, you poser.
I winked at you when I said it.
Well, when I was talking to Andrew Schultz on Instagram, I was telling you, that's so funny. So yeah, the last few times you worked with him
the last few times I worked with him, he did do a little bit more crowd work.
Oh yeah,
it seemed like I mean, he was still doing his thing, but he just gets in and out of it so easy. So if something comes up, he can address it and make it fun for everybody, and then he kind of just moves along.
Yeah,
but he did
good.
Yeah, he did do more of it than he did the first time I worked with him. So, but I thought it was cool. That was
yeah, it was fun, man. And yeah, he's a really nice guy too. He's a very nice person. At least he has been to me. Either that or he snowed me really good. He was just nice to me. Like one time, he's like, "That guy's gonna like me for life," but I hate that fucking guy. That didn't sound like anything like him. Like he's got like a very high pitch. Like, I'm giving him the Clint Eastwood voice for some reason.
He sounds like he smokes cigarettes all of a sudden.
Yeah, very weird. Very weird. I bet he threw down some darts back in the day.
Oh yeah, dude, in Olympia. Hell
yeah, definitely American spirits, dude. He's definitely, if he smokes cigarettes, they're American spirits.
And as we learned, American spirits are not bottom rung.
No, they're low additives.
Boom.
But yeah, man. Anything else you want to talk about with Gabe? I mean, check out his special nectarine on Bar Comedy.
Of course, check that out. Yeah, you need to follow Gabe.
He also has a dry bar special. Check that out. I don't remember how far. I haven't seen that yet. I noticed that existed. I'm like, oh shit, I haven't seen that. And I have a dry bar subscription, so I'm gonna go check it out.
Oh, nice. How much is a dry bar subscription?
Oh, I don't remember. It's more than I want it to be. I want to say it's like $10 a month or something. Like it's not cheap, not that cheap. You know what I mean? And I don't use it enough. I always forget I have it. I'm like, oh shit, I should be watching these people. But again, dry bar. If you don't know what that is, that's clean comedy. Just so you know, it's clean comedy with a bunch of clean comedy specials.
Yeah.
Gabe Rutledge has a special on it. Ryan McCone, a buddy of mine, has a special on it. Phil Kopp has a special. Philip Kopsinski.
You got it.
Has a special on. You got it. Oh, you're so nice.
Phil Kopp also has a Make Me Famous out right now.
Yeah, it's
and it's very good.
It's probably the best one that they put out of the Make Me Famouses.
It's good.
I heard another comic say that.
Oh, really?
Who's involved in the production of those was like that's the best one that came out so far, which is awesome.
Who said that?
I'm just kidding. I didn't say their name on purpose, dude, because I don't know if he would. I don't know if he would want me to tell. To share that information, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Let's put him on blast.
Yeah, let's go ahead. I mean, it's not on blast. Just,
go ahead.
Divulging information. So check Gabe Rutledge out and go ahead and follow him. If you're not following him on Instagram, you're following us. That's insane. But and I would be actually kind of surprised. If you know us, you know who he is. But his Instagram handle is Gabe Rutledge. That's GabeRutledge. Check him out on Instagram. He's got just a few more followers than I do. You want to take a guess? Do you know how many he has? I'm gonna take a guess. We're both right, just barely below 500, dude. We're pretty big time.
Yeah, no, dude.
We like to call it half a thou wow.
We're blowing up.
Yeah, huge.
Slowly. We're like a
real
slow bomb.
Slow burn, dude.
Yeah. Just wait.
We're like pop rocks, dude. That's what we are.
Yeah.
What do you think he has for followerships?
I want to say
he's following more people. He is following more people than I have followers.
I want to say 20K.
Ha! You're so far off, dude.
Low, under, or
172,000.
Oh, I mean, I meant 120K.
He's smashing it, dude. That's a big follower count.
Yeah, why was I saying that? That was way wrong.
Yeah, it's great.
I'm sorry.
I don't know. It's not insulting to guess wrong.
I'm not knowing followers.
Dude, I know plenty of people. Have you ever seen people who are like really good, who have like 20,000 followers, like 10,000 followers? You're like, whoa. Yeah. Like you're huge. It's just not their thing, Dude,
if you have over a thou wow, I worship you.
Huge. Which is so many people.
Which is almost everybody but me and Jay.
Every person that follows me has more followers than I do.
God,
every single person.
This wasn't like this is a constant topic for us, man.
I know we're fucking clout chasing.
We are clout chasing so hard.
Well, we need it. We need them creds, baby. We need them cruddy wetties. God, that's horrible. Yeah, cruddy wetties for no reason. That sounds like. That sounds like a diaper rash that a baby gets. I got the cruddy wetties.
My credit before you bring me on stage is Gabe Rutledge liked his story one time. Give it up for Colton Drake.
Yeah, friend of the podcast. He actually sent us a message about one of our episodes. Like, oh my God, you guys are huge.
Did he?
I mean, we're not supposed to say dun, 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 no. Yeah. Actually, somebody
make
did.
up our
We're not
own.
going to say who it is.
Like make up this phantom.
Just
thing.
a phantom Gabe Rutledge's burner account. It's basically we just made up from thin air. Like,
Yeah. Nobody.
Gabe Rutledge said I have a huge cock.
Andrew Schultz liked Jay's story last.
No, he did not. He fire emoji'd my story.
Oh yeah,
Way
fire
better.
emoji'd it.
He loves me.
Pretty cool. Pretty neat.
He's gonna love when I shit all over his fit. He's gonna love that part.
Doesn't
He's gonna
matter.
throw his shit fit.
You still got the credit.
Shit fit, dude. Yeah, I did get the credit.
You still got the
I
credit.
don't know what that means, but that's my credit. Yeah,
That's your credit.
Got it.
Yeah, dude. We're chasing credits out here. We're making them up.
Was once fire emoji, but that's
Big
God,
time. That's actually really
that is
big time.
Huge. That is huge.
If he watched your latest clip, he was probably like, "Oh man, this guy is mad." And then good.
He's awesome.
Yeah, this guy's really good.
One of the best. top 10.
Top 10
10.
of a one clip.
Goat. Yeah. Secondary goat.
Secondary goat.
At least a lamb or whatever. I don't know. So that's Gabe Rutledge. That was, again, the special is called What Do I Do for a Living? We're glad to do this little special edition thing for you. Gabe Rutledge is amazing. It's a crowd work comedy special. We liked it. I'm not a huge crowd work comedy guy, but I like this. Yeah. And maybe it's because I like him. It's possible.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a fan of Gabe.
It certainly colors my opinion.
Yeah.
And yeah, produced by Bart.
Gabe has definitely had a really strong influence, I think, on a lot of comics in the Pacific Northwest. For
Yeah,
sure.
I would say so.
For sure.
And yeah, he's great. So check that out. Check out his other special. Check out Bart
Nectarine.
Comedy. Check out Colton's Instagram at Colton Drake Comedy.
Yeah.
Check out my Instagram at Jaybird Comedy. Check out the upcoming Stand Up Stops Instagram. Hopefully, we'll get one of those going. And then if you want to send us
Check
some
out something we
feedback,
don't have going yet. Just look it up.
by the time this comes out, maybe we will. But check out if you want give us any feedback. I keep forgetting to do this on the regular the regular podcast, but standupsnobs@gmail.com if you want to give us any feedback. And we want to thank you for listening to Stand Up Snobs in this special bonus episode. I had a great time, Colton. What about you?
Yeah, me too, buddy.
All right.
Bye-bye.